But I do not think that saving is smart as many people do. I have money in savings as part of my financial plan to be safe and secure, not as part of my plan to be rich. This is true even though I do not think it is smart to have my money working for 50% money, as well as losing ground to inflation. Remember that different investment vehicles have different purposes, and each assist you in reaching different levels of financial planning, depending on what you want. To be safe and secure, to be comfortable, or to be really rich. 401k plans and savings are integral parts of my plan to be safe and secure, as well as comfortable, but they are not part of my plan to be rich. How you can earn more tax-advantaged income. By simply starting a small home-based business, buying a franchise, or joining a network marketing company, you are moving into a more tax-advantaged income. If you can reduce the cost of some of your expenses just by utilizing tax-advantaged dollars, you are getting ahead financially. The reason Kim and I retired early was because we worked hard to build businesses and buy real estate. That plan allowed us to work less and less and earn more and more. We did not work for money. We worked hard to build, buy, or create assets, as my rich dad had advised. To us, working at a job was not smart, and in the long run, it was much more risky. Here's a suggestion. List how much you currently earn a month from earned income, passive income, and portfolio income. If you want to retire, you will need passive and portfolio income in most cases. The sooner you learn to acquire passive and portfolio income, the sooner you are on your way to retiring rich and retiring young. Not only will you be able to retire earlier, you may also feel more financially secure and smarter, since you will be earning 20% or even tax-deferred income rather than 50% income, which is the type of income most people are working so hard for. The fastest way to get rich quick. Rich Dad would say, there is plenty of money in the world. If you want to be rich, you need to first expand your reality, your context, in order to get hold of your share of that abundance. If you want to be rich, you need to have an open mind, a flexible reality, and the skills to turn new ideas into real and profitable ventures. But you need a plan, and fast. In a recent interview, Robert Reich, former Labor Secretary under the Clinton administration, noted, "The widening gap between the rich and the poor is setting us up for serious trouble," and he continued to say that, in the new economy, with unpredictable earnings, two tracks are emerging, the fast track and the slow track, and the absence of gradations between. The question is, are you and your plan on the fast track or the slow track? How do you create a fast plan? One of Rich Dad's basic tenets on money is an idea. Adding on to this, Rich Dad also said, there are fast ideas and slow ideas, just as there are fast trains and slow trains. When it comes to money, most people are on the slow train, looking out the windows watching the fast train pass them by. If you want to become rich quickly, your plan must include fast ideas. The following are some ideas on how to begin to build and develop a faster plan. Choose your exit strategy first. I'm often asked, how do I begin investing? Or what should I invest in? My response to their question is another question. What is your exit strategy? And sometimes my second question is, how old do you want to be when you exit? In other words, before you get into investing, you need to first know how, when, where, and with how much you want to exit. This is an important investment fundamental. How much will you have when you stop working? Using the benchmark of age 65 as when most people plan on retiring or exiting, the question is, how much income do you want when your working days are over? A number of years ago, the U.S. Department of Health, Education, and Welfare tracked people from age 20 to 65 and found that by age 65, for every 100 people, 36 were dead, 54 were living on government or family support, 5 were still working because they must, 4 were well off, and 1 was wealthy. Looking at these statistics, the unfortunate reality is that only 1 out of 100 Americans will reach the affluent level, $100,000 to $1 million per year, or higher when they exit the workforce. One reason for this is a slow financial plan without a clearly defined exit strategy. When I am asked, can I get to the affluent level on the slow train? My answer is yes. You can get there with a safe, secure, high-paying job, but you must begin investing young, live frugally, invest a large portion of your income, hope that the market does not crash, and be willing to retire after age 55. There is a price for using this plan of job security and frugality to reach the affluent level. The price is that it is often difficult to move on to the rich, $1 million to $12 million per year, and ultra-rich level, $1 million a month or more, using such a conservative plan. Take the fast train. If you are starting life with very little, as I did, and want to retire young and retire rich at the rich or ultra-rich levels, you will most likely need to forsake job security and take the fast train. In order to take the fast train, a person will need an open mind, high-speed ideas, better business and investment education, and a faster plan. These people will need to operate from a different mental context and content than that of the masses. People who use the job security and long-term investment plan to reach the affluent level often arrive without the content, context, and capacity to handle the rigors of the rich and ultra-rich levels. As my rich dad said, there is more to being rich than having a lot of money. My wife Kim and I decided to exit the rat race of life at the affluent level. That was our goal. Once we decided on our goal, in 1985, we worked backwards and developed our exit strategy, our investment plan, and then, and only then, did we determine our entry strategy. Once we had our exit strategy, we knew what to do and where to begin. For us, it was to ride on the fast train to build a business and invest in real estate. The hard work, lack of job security, and following the rigid schedule riding the fast train paid off. It took 9 years from the time the plan was created until we achieved our goal. Because our investments brought us more than $100,000 in passive income per year, we were able to move on to the rich level simply because we had time, money, and the basic qualifications to move on to the next levels. We went from the affluent level to the rich level in 5 years. Next up is the ultra-rich level of residual income. If things go as planned, that should take 3 years. In theory, our basic plan through all levels was simple. It was to build businesses and invest in real estate. Today, we continue to build businesses and invest in real estate. While the plan has remained simple, what has increased is our education and experience. It is this education and experience that allows us to increase the speeds at which we build businesses and buy real estate. In other words, we made mistakes, corrected, and learned. By making those mistakes and learning, what has changed is the size of our context, our content or knowledge, our capacity to handle larger projects and dollar amounts, and the speed at which we process these larger and more complex facts and figures. Taking the fast train gave us different business and investor qualifications than those reaching the affluent level using the slow train. How to see the future. On a flight from London to New York, I sat next to a high-level executive from IBM. After we had leveled off and we got to know each other, I asked him, "How do you prepare for the future?" His reply was, "If you want to see how the world will be in 10 years, just watch a 15-year-old boy or girl. Observe the world from their eyes, and you will see the future." If you can let go of your vision of the world and actually see the world from a younger person's point of view, you will see a much bigger world, a world filled with tremendous change and an abundance of opportunities yet to come. There are business and investment opportunities coming that will create bigger fortunes than the automobile did for Henry Ford, oil did for John D. Rockefeller, computers did for Bill Gates, and the Internet did for the young founders of Yahoo, AOL, and Netscape. I then asked, "Will we soon see a high school teenager become a self-made billionaire?" His reply was, "I'd bet money on it." If you are not rich today because you missed the last boat leaving the dock, do not worry. Another boat to the land of riches and opportunity is getting ready to sail. The question is, will you be on it? A plan for the future. If you are sincere about wanting to retire young and retire rich, you need to formulate a plan for the future. And to do this, you should look to the past. In my reality, history does have a tendency to repeat itself, even though it may not repeat itself in exactly the same way. Many adults miss the future, or are run over by the future because their plans for the future have no vision of the past. In 1998, I was talking to a young reporter in San Francisco who was just out of college. When I told her that mutual funds were risky and that I could see a crash coming, she became very angry. She then began quoting to me words and ideas her stockbroker had said to her. "The fund I am invested in has been the top-rated mutual fund for 3 years running. It has gone up by an average of 25% each year. The stock market is the best investment because even though there are dips in the market, as there was in 1987, The market has gone up consistently for 40 years. It is the best place to invest your money. Today, her sacred funds are down over 50%. While her facts and data are somewhat accurate, the problem is her data does not go far enough back in time. If she knew her history of markets, she would know that we have a depression every 75 years on average. While this does not mean we will have a depression every 75 years, that little bit of ancient history does explain why the market has gone up over the past 40 years. The last market crash and depression was in 1929. It took the market approximately 25 years to recover to 1929 levels, or to year 1955. I was talking to her in 1998, and so her facts were accurate that the market has gone up for 40 years. Her view of the future is hindered because her view of the future does not include enough of the past. One of the things my rich dad had me do was read books on economic history. A great book I recommend people read if they want to understand the future is the book entitled The Worldly Philosophers by Robert Heilbronner. It is a great book for anyone wanting to see the future by studying the past. When I teach my investment classes, I have people fill out a financial statement. I then have them look at their past and ask them if what they also see is their future. If they do not like what they see, I advise them to begin to get unfrozen, get hip, throw out your old clothes, update your wardrobe, change your old friends, and begin to see the future. And above all, change the way you think about money. If you can change your context to be excited about the opportunities in the future, you have a better chance of retiring young and retiring rich. Seeing a rich future. Assuming that the poor earn $25,000 or less per year, the middle class makes $25,000 to $100,000 per year, the affluent $100,000 to $1 million per year, the rich $1 million or more a year, and the ultra-rich $1 million or more a month. Many people cannot imagine a financially free future with $100,000 or more a year coming in without working. The reason many people cannot imagine having that much money is because they do not have it in their reality. Many people may dream of such dollar amounts and may say that someday they will make that money.